And now we are live. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone joining us today. Wednesday talk, live talk with my guest, Dr. Pooja. So, thank you for joining us today. And as usual, before starting the conversation, I will ask you to join race, but I have to tell you why. Why? Because we are passionate educator, passionate parents, passionate coaches who are creating this community with a purpose of creating that change, bringing that change in education system, not only in the region, it's a worldwide, let's say, intention and purpose. We can call it as a hope. How we can do that? We are holding workshops, physical or even online, to assist teachers, parents, and even students to create that heart-to-heart conversation in the classroom. So it's not conventional, it's not traditional, no, it's something new. That's why we are in race community behind this passion, behind this, let's say, mission. So if you would like to join us, you can reach us on our website, coaching for education.com. Okay. So now coming to our guest, Dr. Pooja. If I want to talk about her, I will not say so much because I will leave the floor for her. But however, she is a consultant, a blogger also, working in the field of education and learning and development for the last 12 years, if I'm not mistaken. So I will leave you the floor to tell us, to tell the audience, who are you?
Thank you, Mazen. Yeah, and thank you, Race, for inviting me over. As I will pick from where you left, that before I start about myself, I would say that join Race. Um, a very interesting concept about which we will be talking soon. So, yes, amazing initiative. Do join Race for what it stands for, but to maintain and to discuss what I'll be talking for today is that do not join race. With that, something about myself. I love working with people, and that explains my doctorate in human development. Work with people across ages. Currently a mother of two young girls, 9-year and 7-year old, who keep my hands full, and yes, provide direction to my own learning, and vice versa. That I see how important it is for us to help them set directions to their learning as well. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in today's session. Why is it important, and to set direction for children and students, future direction setting in education? Why is it very, very important to take coaching uh, very seriously as a concept and develop it not only for students but also for parents, teachers, and the whole ecosystem? So currently, what we see is we are working as a as functions. Parents have a parent body, teachers have teachers body, students have students body. So how do we work together? That's what I feel the essence of race is, coming together and paving direction for students. Is my voice echoing, Mazen?
A little bit echoing.
Can I do something about it?
Just be near to the microphone.
Okay, I'm not using one. I
That's
can.
fine. That's fine. We'll go with the flow. So don't worry
Okay,
about it.
right. Yeah. What I'll be talking about necessarily today is assessments, and
Yeah.
I'm a workplace Big Five consultant. I have done a lot of research in personality. I have been a cross-cultural psychologist as well. So coming from different experiences, I'll be talking about the need of assessments and why we as professionals think it's becoming very, very important in today's day and age, not only for people to choose their career pathways, but also to get an understanding about themselves and what they would like to do. And what I maintain is that once you have that understanding, you have that magic wand of kind of opening the world to yourself. And being having studied a lot about child development, having a degree of doctorate in child development, rather than working at our age, fixing our career pathways, I maintain that it's important when we work with children and help them set direction for their future, and enable them themselves. We can just be a medium for them to help explore. So that's where the need of assessment comes. Currently, when we look at the scenario of what's happening around us, right? Uh, in Dubai, I see parents start panicking when the child comes to year seven in English curriculum, in year nine or 10 in Indian curriculum schools. Similarly, when the child goes to high school in American curriculum schools, parents start wondering, okay, where should my child go? What subjects should we choose? What are their strengths? Where would they excel? Most importantly, the career pathways, like it or not, are driven by who did well in my family, who's the most influential person I know, what's the best selling profession, what's making me rich, what's making me popular. And so those are, or I take my own example that as a parent, I have done really well in my profession. So yes, my child can pursue that. Another thought that comes is that's the only thing I know. So for example, an IT person best about how systems work, then if my child has to pick up a career, I am the right person, right coach, to give them end-to-end coaching. So there are so many ways in which a person selects the career, or a person is, uh, is influenced, if I have a loaded word, is influenced to choose a career. Very rarely, it's increasing now, very rarely do we see what is our child's personality. What is a student, as a student, he or she enjoying or excel in the early years of their school? Those questions are asked only when consulted. But as parents, we sometimes are so worried and overcome from from our anxieties of whether my child is able to choose the right career, whether they will be successful. And the definition of successful comes from popularity, money, fame. That from those factors, that we forget to see, okay, what is that person natural tendency is to excel. And there's where I say there's a need for direction setting. Going down to that, why are we talking about direction setting? What does it mean? Have been, so now it's not that we can't do anything about it, or it's a gray field, or it's a complex field. It's not that simplistic an answer. Or, every time I can't be going to a career counselor to know what my child is doing. I should be capable enough. Yes, as a parent, I believe you should be empowered. But as experts, as consultants here, we say that it's important that we understand our child's personality. So when I come, from where I come is that when we understand a child's personality, we we go on the right track, or at least we avoid the derailers. Yes.
Let me interrupt you because really, honestly, you are stating a lot of facts,
Yes.
starting with parents. I really like the point you highlighted, the point of how to become popular or famous or what. Okay, the question over here that came to my mind: am I, as a parent, when I think in that way, I'm projecting something that is not, let's say, true to my son? So what I'm eliminating in that case, if I'm following that approach?
When you project yourself, more than eliminating, you are not taking into account the personality of your child. So maybe you are not eliminating. That's a very, I would say that's a very strong word or an extreme scenario. But what
Okay.
we are doing by projecting ourselves is we are not acknowledging the child's personality traits.
So if
So
it is not eliminating, I'm limiting.
yes, yes. I that
Limiting
would be a
what?
better word. Yeah, that would be a better word because that's what I said that I work well with systems. I know how to code so well. I know I'm excelling in that field. And I feel yes, you come to me, I will make sure that I coach you. I know you can work very well. You are very good with mathematics. That's a fact. The child student might be getting excellent grades in mathematics. But what, as a parent, I miss to see is that my child is equally great at debating, is equally great in ideating. So those things I missed. I limit my perspective to that. Okay, and that's where I feel that when I have that whole idea of okay, this child has a personality to bloom and have a very strong analytical thinking ability, strong complex words which can be used in debating, in ideating. The person can be a coder as well as he can be a lawyer. What stops the child? The sky is my limit. Why am I limited to that? So
True.
yeah, did you find your answer?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I find my answer. The second point, which is really interesting. Now, as a parent, if you want to give advice, what I should focus at the beginning, if I want to literally, of technically, let's say, uh, supporting or even creating that career path for my children that suits him or her.
Mhm.
What should I do first?
So I also see a question related to. So Angela has just posed a question also.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, yes. So thank you, Angela, for agreeing to that. What should you do first? As a advice, as a child specialist, as a parent, have a very open mind. That's a very, very basic thing. Now what I'll do is I'll go a little bit deeper into the personality assessments. As Angela, you mentioned that there are a lot of dated assessments that people have been still using. And to be very, very candid here, I would say that, you know, I, I, as an expert, use assessments only as indicators. You don't base your entire work on assessments. Just like I tell it to my clients, just like doctors, medical doctors use blood tests, x-rays, sonography to diagnose that, okay, if you have a pain in your stomach on the left hand side, it could either be a stone in the gallbladder or it could be infected appendicitis. They get they have made their estimation. They get the results with saying, okay, this part is inflamed, but rest of the parts are doing well. Hence, this is the course we would prescribe to the person. Similarly, when we work with students, when we work with parents, assessment is not end and all. It's not the solution. It's an indicative to me. And when I strongly feel that the way to go, and I mean, there are many, many opinions here. We use assessments. Personality assessments are the way to go. The five factor model of personality. When we say, as psychologists, you would understand. I think it has a merit. It has a merit to it because it is trait based. because it talks about the energy of an individual under the traits and sub traits, but it doesn't typecast a person. So,
Yeah.
so what my take is, and thanks again, Angela, for reinforcing my point. It's when I work with a person, all I need to know are the attributes of personality. When I'm talking to you, Mazen, I know you are interested in psychology, but at the same time, it doesn't stop you from believing in a sci-fi fiction. So or you can be a writer as well, or you can be a auditor. So
Yeah.
there are multiple sides to a person, and by using these personality assessments, especially the trait assessments and not uh, the other assessments, that we say that okay, I have a estimation that this person is very strong here, but in the other areas, it'll take a lot of energy. It's not about being good or bad, being on right side or being on the left hand side. You know, what we consultants call is the golden middle. So people who are in the middle, they are like your golden middle. They have the ability to flex on both the sides. So if I have to work with a student, if I have to work with a career professional, if I have to work with a person who's in their 40s and finding it challenging of where do I go from now, I think I've explored what I had to in my organization. That's where I lie, my reports lie and say that what you are doing currently is making you expel a lot of energy that doesn't come naturally to you. And assessments like Workplace Book 5, they give you a very comprehensive data on these factors, which we call capacities. So, for example, do I have the capacity of analytical thinking, of future, of leadership orientation? Maybe I don't. Then you calculate, and it's very, empirical data that you say that, hey, leadership orientation is not my capacity. I can do it. Doesn't stop me from doing it. But at the end of the day, I'll be done. Taking a very, very close to heart example, you fill up the visa forms whenever we have to, travel nowadays. So I was lately filling up the UK visa form, and 15 pages form, you filled it on the computer, and I was done for the day. Mainly because I don't have the capacity of detail orientation. It just tires me out, it burns me out. I can do it, I haven't made a single mistake, but it just tired me out. Taking this example, imagine if I am in a job of an auditor who has to check forms, fill forms for the living. What will it do to me? It'll make me age faster. I hate my job. I'll just have to do it because it's giving me bread and butter. While if I would have known that before, say, I love creating presentations, or I love ideating, I can give ideas. I would choose wisely. Hey, this is something that's down my alley. These are some of the things that we, empower students, parents, teachers, and youth with. That this is it. It doesn't mean you can do this. You cannot. This is your type. This is your type. It just means, see, this is the spread of energy, personality. This is the spread of your
Yeah.
personality. So pick
It's
up
like,
what you like.
yeah.
And
Yeah. Like, when an assessment is like, knowing the assessment, as Angela was saying, that a good tool to know oneself or to understand oneself.
absolutely.
Plus, the way you describe it is utilizing the energy and excelling in what we are doing
Yes.
instead of draining us.
Yes.
Like, and the MBTI assessment, me, as anyone will see me, will see, okay, he's an extrovert. And the funny part, I'm totally introvert.
Yeah.
Now, how this developed, and they call it out of preference within the preference. And I was like, the out of preference is really high in terms of communication. And it immediately clicked with me when I've read the report that I discovered because of coaching that helped me to be out of my preference without draining myself,
Yes,
without being also communicating with people, being interacting with people. That doesn't drain me because I knew, I understand where I can utilize myself and
absolutely
my capabilities, my strength.
correct. Hmm. So, so that's what we say, right? In different make phones get discharged in different ways, and different chargers charges them at a different level. Similarly, in personality theories, what we say is you. So MBTI puts you in the two corners. It types you. Um, I mean, if you want, I can share some of the papers with you, which compares personality, so trait-based five-factor model with MBTI, and it's very technical, but good to
Please.
read what it does to you as an individual. Uh, but what we say is that I can be an ambivert in the middle, okay? But I would like to choose the days I want to party. It's not that you wake me up and say, "Hey, Pooja, Wednesday night, middle of the week, let's just go and chat and have a walk." Uh, I would shrug my shoulders and say, "Let me choose with when. Today I've had my fill." An extrovert would say, "Yeah, let's go." An introvert say, "No, maybe some other time." But here I am in the middle and say, "Let me choose. I want to choose. I think for today I'm drained. My battery is finished. Maybe, but I'm not saying no either. I want to choose another day." So this is what it helps us if we do it on ourselves. Okay, where is it? That's I'm exhausting myself, and where do I need to recharge, go and consolidate myself. How do we use it in different ways is another very, very interesting thing that I would quickly touch upon. So start assessments can start from as early as 13 years of age, when children develop the mental faculty of making abstract reasoning and connecting the dots and talking about future pathways. Um, but it goes as, I mean, uh, any age can get into assessments. Organizations right now, I'm doing a lot of organization development work. The assessments that are being used are very, very interesting. The leadership is getting assessments done for their rundowns, to understand, okay, where can we pull people to suit into different categories, where is the dip coming from, whether our people would be suited from with the scale organizations are developing, would they be able to take that kind of development or not. All these things are mapped using the assessments. Starting a career, from that extreme to starting a career, when we do assessments with youth, we can actually project that if you go down those pathways, these are some of the derailers that when it when your work will peak, when it will become monotonous, these are the four things that can happen. Where are these four things coming out? They are coming from your personality, because you have the highest energy levels in this stage. Be careful of when you do this. You know what I mean by direction setting, by giving them a compass. Not to say again to limit them, but at least when I know that, okay, this is something I'm not comfortable with, let me go back and understand why. They have something to, they're not too off.
I have a question because really it's really critical here, but I will go back a little bit. So if let's put the context of the parents is doing or asking his children or kids to do the assessment. Now my question here, sometimes the outcome of this assessment, maybe the parent won't like it. So
Yeah.
what is the advice or the tip you can give uh, the coach or the one who's responsible of doing this assessment and share it with the parent and the teen or the kids, plus to the parent?
Yes. So As I already said, and it's a very important and a very interesting question you asked. As I said, assessments should only be used as an indicative tool, not the end in all. It's not something that that you push down your client's way. We have had many cases where parents do not agree when the children's personality says that, hey, they cannot be sitting behind a desk and working 14 hours a day. That's not their personality, but they want them to be engineers, they want them to be developing softwares and innovate. It doesn't go down well with the parents because that's their aspirations. The important thing for the coaches is to bring in the context. And I'm not sure if there is any way of showing any slide, but what I'm trying to say is that before you start working, before the assessment even comes into the picture, you get the context of the family. Where What are their aspects? What are the parents doing? What are their know-hows of different career options? We are operating here. I can be an expert. I know hundreds of careers, but my parents don't. That's where I as a coach come, when I have to stitch the story together. It's when I have to show the extreme bright side and the power of their child, and not to say that, hey, what you want for your child is not matching with the assessments that has come. Of course, we will run into the blind spot.
True.
We will run
Yes.
into. So, as a coach, before you even bring in the assessment, understand the context. And what we do is we insist on the child, the student, to fill up a form, which is a very subjective, general form about themselves, what their hobbies are, what they would like to do, what are their dreams, aspirations. And then we work. This happens in sessions. We work along with the parent. We encourage the child, hey, take ownership. Counseling is for you, not for your parents. We are not trying to convince your parents. We are just opening the doors for all of you to look into. Okay, what's behind that and what's behind that? That's all my job is. I'm not prescribing anything. That's the difference between the doctor here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not prescribing. I'm just opening doors for you to explore. So these have to be done together by, and the person who's assessed has to take the ownership. So then when the report comes in from the assessment, we ask the child or the student to sit with the parent and understand before we even step into the picture. And then, okay, what did you get out of it? What are the questions? So the context has to come together.
The way they describe it and even the process, the way I see it, it's an opportunity for both of them, the kid and the parents, to know each other even the more in terms of communication, in terms of, okay, what is suitable to me.
Mhm.
Really a good way of, building a strong relationship.
Yeah.
Not, as you said, it's not like a remedy, but it's an open door for everyone.
Yes, that's
So,
true.
in the coming 1.5 minutes, what advice you give our audience?
Have a very open mind. Have a very open mind. I really believe in listening in.
Listening.
Our job as a coach, as educators, as parents, is to listen. First, just listen with open heart and open brain and open ears, that what's happening, before we jump to conclusions. And there are plenty things out there to guide you forward, but unless we bring down this charade of, I know it all, I'm going to tell you, it's not going to work. So my only advice is, listen to students around you, listen to parents around you. There'll be so much wisdom coming from there.
Be open to everything. Be open to opportunities. You don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, yeah. Thank you a lot. Really appreciate the advice on the behalf of the audience and behalf of me and behalf of Race for joining us today. And I really appreciate the dedication and time and really interesting topic about the assessment, because it's really important to understand assessment again. Uh, Restating the fact again that it is not defining the personality. It's more, and as I said, indicators, only indicators, plus understanding.
Yes.
Get out of it the experience, know it, know yourself, build on that, work in that, invest in that. The
Yes.
most important is investment.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So thank you a lot. Lovely to have you today in our Wednesday live talk,
Sure.
and looking forward for the future talks. And thanks for the audience for watching us or joining us in this call, and for their participation. So
Thank you so
thank you.
much. Thank you.
Take,
Thank you for
take,
inviting me.
take
Bye.
care. Bye bye. Bye.